All right. What's up, guys? Didn't miss much. We're back. I think I figured out what might have been going on with the, looks like this time the HUD fixed itself. But for whatever reason, last time it kept like the double thing. It looks like it's better now, though. Welcome back, you rounder here. We are, I don't know, part 4, part 5, part 6, something, I don't know. Long session. But we're on the grind, and we are grinding for educational value. So just trying to find as many spots as we can that require further analysis before we have the confidence to know that we're making the right play given all the information we have. I like that. That sounds right. That sounds pretty good. We try to be humble enough to admit what we do and don't have the information for, make a play based on what we know, and then use those spots that we don't have all the information for to either one, accept and ignore, right? So like there's some spots where we might not know the right answer. We might not know exactly what information would be needed to get the right answer. And therefore, maybe we just decide like, all right, that's not a spot that comes up too frequently. I'm okay with just not really knowing how to play that for now because there are more important spots, more higher EV spots to focus on. And that is a perfectly reasonable way to go about things because you can't fix everything at once. So you want to focus on the largest areas for a win rate. And that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so our tables look like they are 43, 27, 51, and 36. So Stotner is 27% players per flop. Where's Stotner? That is top left. Yeah, no reason to be on that table. So I'm going to go ahead and sit out next big blind. I probably should have noticed that before even coming back to it, but that's okay. Both our opponents check. We do have top pair, so I think we can bet for value, even though it's not like a super strong top pair. That's fine. Maybe could have bet a little larger on the turn. Done with that table. Let's find nice. Let's try this one. Never adapt. We've been on never adapt already, but looks like there's all new players there. It doesn't really matter. Let's see what it looks like. I am standing. I'm kind of alternating, so I'll sit for an hour and then stand for an hour, and take a little 3 to 5 minute break in between each. I think that's a pretty good system. If this is sort of how I'm going to do it, and I think this makes sense, right? Like I can study during the day, and it also means that when I have my son, I'm not like missing grinding hours. I just don't get a lot of sleep that day. I guess, I don't know. Haven't quite worked out the details, but I think pretty much playing in the evenings, even into late night, it works. So As long as it works, that's what I'll keep doing. This is not ideal, but let's just go ahead and bet here. I mean, we've got the second nut straight draw, and it's monotone boards are tough to defend since there's so few flush draws that our opponent holds. It's much harder to come up with a reasonable defense frequency. We close the action here with King 9 suited, so that seems okay. Tempting to try to bluff there, but I'll pass. It's not coming from the button, so I'm not going to 3-bet. On table 3. Keep up the comments on these videos, guys. I've been getting quite a few comments on them, and I appreciate it. So keep it up. That makes me want to keep doing them. I know that we are supposed to defend here. I could probably get on board with folding. And when he checks back, I think we just go for the bet here. Pretty light call. So probably not the guy we want to be bluffing necessarily. You mentioned how difficult his defense frequency is here. So when he does call, his range probably includes a lot of hearts. And we check back, which I think is usually going to cap our range pretty well. We aren't going to be, I mean, maybe we'll check the King of Hearts occasionally here, but I won't imagine that we do too often. So I can kind of see why it would be pretty tricky to get a particularly attractive red line at, you know, these stakes, and probably even, you know, 50 NL. But I mean, I'll be honest, I have not been looking for tons of spots to like bluff people off of hands on the river, because I think they're just playing, they're folding enough on the flop and turn. So by the time you get to the river, I think people get pretty attached to their hand and don't really like folding that much. I think the key is that you really want to just go really hard with value hands. I mean, I know that's very basic advice, but especially once you've been called on the turn, players are very adverse to folding. It's just not a big part of what's happening. Queen deuce suited is definitely a 3-bet. So we 3-bet, and now this guy is donking the flop for pot. I think we have to call. And bet here, and then we can obviously fold this. But we've got the backdoor nut flush draw and 2 overcards, so I don't think folding's great. Here we're getting raised. Definitely like a minimum defense call, but out of position. This guy doesn't look particularly aggressive even after just 7 hands. So it's definitely, I don't know, he's short. It's going to make it pretty tough to play the next couple of streets, I think. It's not a great reason to fold, but if this player is getting out of line a lot, I mean, we should be able to find a good opportunity to play a hand against him in position. I also need to caution myself to not, when you have like 3 or 4 hands in a row where you're getting, like, we got raised on table 2, then we got raised on table 3, then we got raised on table 1, not to read anything into it. It's just random. Like, it's not that people are all of a sudden playing back at us and all of a sudden have like some sort of insightful idea of what we're doing. It's just that they probably all happen to get hands at the same time. So it's about as significant as if we c-bet on 3 hands and all 3 players folded, which we would expect to happen at a relatively frequent rate and not be shocked by. So we're going to be barreling a lot here. This guy is just seeing tons of flops, and we can kind of just barrel large and expect him to eventually fold. And so, like, even if he calls here, we can probably just barrel the river. I mean, the turn is probably the biggest overfold, but a guy that's playing 70% of hands is going to end up in a lot of spots with too many hands. So like, it might be a spot where we want to size up our flop bet in order to get him to put more in on the flop when we expect him to be overfolding like significantly on the turn. That's a thing that could be possible. And like, look at that. So he is just never folding the turn. Like, I didn't even notice that when we made the play. But if we look, he has folded to c-bet 0 out of 6 times. So he's always calling on the flop, which means he's probably just like crazily overfolding the turn. So from now on, we want to make like full size pot bets on the flop and then continue just betting on the turn. And yeah, if we just do that for days on end, then we'll make a lot of money off that guy. Pretty straightforward. Seems like a pretty straightforward board to raise. King's not the best card, but I think overall we should be fine with this strategy. I mean, we have an ace, so it's not like we're always losing when we check back. I don't know. I was pretty worried about a hand like that. And pretty confident that a hand like that folds the river. Just for some reason a little gun shy. I don't know exactly why I felt that way. So wait a minute, we should check. We called a like 4-bet or something on this table. Pretty much just want to call down against this player. And I don't think we need to value bet. We want to give them an opportunity to bluff. We need to rebuy. So we talked about our strategy against this guy. We pretty much size up like a full pot, bet on the flop, and then c-bet the turn and expect him to fold. And why have we not rebought on this table? What is going on? Mark that hand. Yeah, I mean, I think we should be firing there. I don't know why I got so, I mean, I feel like you could probably see it if you were watching when, you know, I paused and, yeah, that was just I think that was a pretty clear-cut triple barrel spot. Again, this guy's pretty aggressive, so I'll opt for the 3-bet with the king-queen offsuit. This is a guy that's probably, I feel like we might have played a hand or two with this guy, but it's okay. Ooh, aces, and we have a full stack. Nice. So we haven't seen a donk lead yet. Not sure exactly what's going on with that. Kind of curious what he's actually donk leading with. Maybe a deuce. 6, 7. Okay, so he donk led with like a little straight and then hit the 6. Interesting. I mean, it seems like 210 seems small, right? Like 150 would be double. And I don't know. Whatever, I'll fold. My desk is doing some weird. I think I need to tighten up some of the bolts on this thing. I definitely need to tighten something up. This thing is wobbling around a little bit too freely. That's a pretty good turn. Yeah, we've got position. Let's peel one. So he checks. His range should be pretty capped here. So I think if he does actually have a king and then just kind of slow down, we want to get money from a king, which that should do. Replay. Oh, okay. He actually had a worse ace. That's fine too. Same idea, same idea. All right, go like 250 on the flop. Oh, folded the flop for once. Sorry, I feel like I'm not barely saying anything. I don't know, maybe like 4 hours straight of commentary is not something I can do. I mean, which is too bad because like when an interesting hand does come up, it's nice to talk through it, and I'm sure that makes for, you know, kind of some interesting video, like portions of video. I don't have time to go through and like edit and only show interesting hands or anything like that. So if the parts 3+ or 2+ or whatever are slowing down to the point where they're not entertaining, just let me know. Be like, hey, the first part's good, second part's okay, but by the third part you're really not like talking enough. If that's the case, just let me know, and I'll just make a couple videos and call it good, and the rest of it I'll play on my own. And also tell like I'm timing down more and stuff like that. It's gonna be really hard not to look at my results. Like I feel like I'm doing well. I know I've lost a couple big all-ins though, and so I'm not really sure how that's gonna come out, but be interesting to actually, if I can get through like a week of playing and not look at my results. Or more impressive would be like to go through pretty much the whole month. I would have some idea based on the direction that my balance is moving up and down, but I think that would be really good for me to stay away from looking at my results over, the session. Because then I don't even really have the option to make a decision based on whether I'm winning or losing, which I shouldn't be doing anyway, right? I mean, that's not correct to do. So if I don't know if I'm like up or down or how much, then I won't make a decision based on whether I'm having a winning or losing session, which should be a good thing. Now we got a call here, and I think it's a board we should get a fair number of calls on with weak ranges, but yeah, we can fold here. All right, unless I think he's value betting fours there, then I'll just fold. Value betting a worse hand. I mean, and that would have eliminated, so if I remembered it in time, and I could go into Poker Tracker, and there's like tools, let's see, configure tags. There's like a little tag configuration, and I could tag hands specifically for something like, large bet call decision with non-nutted hand, right? I could, I'm sure, come up with something a little more succinct than that. But this guy has like no money, and like a suited ace, you kind of play a little better in like a deep pot. So this player sees a lot of flops and then bets a lot. So I think we just want to check call all the way down. I think that's our play here. And check raise river. But a diamond flush got there, which is part of his barreling range, so let's see here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I obviously like that play. The question is, if we were in his shoes, what is this from? Is this a Skolansky thing, or I think it might be a Skolansky thing from one of his books back in the day, but like no, you know what? He might talk about it there, but I know that Tommy Angelo talks about it. It's like reciprocality or something, but pretty much like who loses and wins more money in the same spot, and that's like what determines who's winning. So if in that spot, you know, I lose less than he does when he has the worst hand, and I make more than he does when I have the winning hand, or either or, right? Then that's good. But like, it's kind of talking about like when you get aces all in against kings, if both players play it the same way, there's no reciprocality there. There's nobody's winning or losing. It's the decisions. There's no like decision, superior decision maker. Whereas in that spot, I think that, again, not saying I necessarily would be folding the river, but if somebody's jamming on me on a paired board and I have like the 10 high flush, right? Then I think I'm getting away from it, right? Because he has to pretty much decide like, am I bluffing? How often am I bluffing? And then, you know, am I value betting worse and all that, right? Like that's what I would go through. And I'd be like, well, this guy's either bluffing or I'm screwed, right? He's never value betting worse. And I would, you know, have to try and find the fold. And then, you know, at the same time, whether or not he's able to like check call down with my hand and not raise or whatever is also a question. So I don't know, just something to think about. Yeah, so I may add a few more tags because like if there was one thing to figure out, you know, one thing to look at where I'm losing the most money, if the answer is that I'm calling down too late or that I'm calling in, you know, spots and losing all the time, then that's what I want to look at. So being able to tag those hands and know that, okay, in this moment, I was thinking that this was close and I wasn't sure if it was a call or not. And then, you know, whatever, I can review if I think I made the right play in the moment or not, because it's a lot easier to analyze when you're not sitting at the table. So that might be worth doing. The real question is, what symbol would I want for a tag like that? I think I would want like the bomb. Oh, the call. The phone, like the call. That's the tag there. Calling decision. Yeah, we don't, queen jack offsuit's not that good. We don't need to call 3 bets. Probably raise even more than that. So last time this guy did this, did we take a note on it? Great, good job. I think it was with like a middle pair or something, or no, it was with a draw. So he did it with a draw, so hopefully he's on a flush draw. He'll call, we'll both hit the flush, and then I'll jam all in and he'll call. We've got an open, a 3-bet, I'm sitting here with ace-jack suited. So that's going to be a fold. Now against these players, these types of players, if we were in position, it would be probably an overcall, just because I think we would do okay in position. We're not going to lose a massive pot there with like top pair, hopefully. But in the small blind, that's a pretty good spot to fold. Again, we're doing pretty well with our strategy against this 71-0 player, which is, you know, let's go even bigger, 150. See what we can get away with. Which is to just bet ruthlessly against him, because when you have 70% of all hands, it is very, very hard to have anything that can call 3 streets. So I'm just timing down for a second, and then we'll make our bet. Neat flop, he folds. Don't know anything about this guy, but I'm going to size my bet up a little bit. Or I could check back. Nah. Call with the queen 10 suited in position. Seems pretty straightforward. Don't know if this guy's betting like crazy often, but he does check here. So unless he's like pretty balanced, I think he's probably fairly, you know, capped when he checks. Or, you know, if he is checking a balanced range and has pairs, we will likely be able to take him off of it if he's, you know, not checking aces. If he's checking like his weak aces, then he should be able to call down 3 streets. Otherwise, it'll be pretty tricky for him. Yeah, I mean, all we have here is a gutter. We don't expect players to be raising light on the turn, so we'll just fold. So yeah, I mean, if he was like slow playing a set or something, then that's fine. But we don't expect him to be like over bluffing on the turn. That's not something players are doing often enough to really factor in. Man, it's really interesting. Like, I used to get very caught up in stuff like that. I mean, like, really worry, like, oh, this guy could be bluffing. Maybe I should call. Maybe I should re-raise bluff. And like, think that there was a whole lot more going on than there typically is. And pretty much just deciding that there's not, and having kind of proof that there's not helped. But man, getting away from all that, just sort of, that's where a lot of really really spewy stuff happens, is in that space of like worrying about other people pulling one over and trying to get super aggressive and doing all sorts of crap, is like where real spew happens. Did I bet the flop? What just happened there? Okay. Calling me down king high. Not down, but called the turn with king high. The other thing that if I can't see my my hands or whatever, then it makes it harder to. Oh, like I like being able to see how many hands I've played for the day and like my hands per hour and all that, but I have a general idea. I get about 220 an hour, something in that ballpark. So I know that if I've been playing for, I don't know, 4 videos worth, that's about 800 hands, depending on the length of the video. Looks like I'm looking at 603 hands on the importer. Let's pot this. Fold. We're at 40 minutes, man. I'm getting worn down. I will admit to that I'm like mentally a bit fatigued. So again, in like 10 minutes, I'll change the tape over, do another switcheroo, and hopefully be able to at least make it till 2 a.m. playing. And then, I don't know, tomorrow, I mean, as long as I can stay focused and I can keep making decent plays without having to talk through every single thing I'm doing, I mean, that would be nice. But I feel like almost like the video is a little bit of a safety net from me doing weird, spewy, ridiculous things, because I have to, like, as I'm doing it, sort of justify it. And sometimes if I'm just like by myself, nobody watching, I'll kind of do weird stuff that doesn't make any sense, because it's like, well, nobody can see this, so I don't know, I feel like doing this, and I'll do something really dumb without having a very good reason. That's actually a good barrel card, especially against somebody who I haven't ever seen fold a turn, although I guess he's only been in that situation one time. I think we can barrel again here. Oops. Is this the same guy? I need to make a note of people who are calling me down light. What's happening now? So what happened here? I wish I had all my little things to tell me what's going on. This doesn't strike me as somebody that's doing this super light. I actually think yeah. Boom, look at that fold. Oh, that ace king fold, so good. So, pull that over there, fold, raise, fold again, raise, call. Called me down 3 streets with low pair on paired board. So I'll give him the indigo, just kind of indicates he's seen me do something a little crazy. I guess, maybe he's paying attention and saw me do something a little crazy to this guy, because maybe that would have helped him make the decision to call down. Not sure. I don't typically give people credit for watching hands that they're not in. Jack 10 offsuit's really not that good. Probably be okay just going away. God, my aggression frequency is ridiculous. Same here. 79, 79, 63, 48. Doing a pretty good job keeping my VPIP and preflop raise and 3-bet numbers up across all my tables across the whole session. Like, that's pretty challenging to stay after it for hours on end. I mean, it's in the past, it's always been really easy for me to accidentally kind of slip back into a very, how you say, like fit or fold type automatic. You know, what do they call that? Autopilot? Yeah. Slip into like a fit or fold autopilot mode. Into 2 players, I'm just going to go ahead and fold. He's also betting into like one. This guy's pretty short. This guy's min raising. We got Jack 9 offsuit. I don't think Jack 9 offsuit needs to be a 3-bet from the small blind. Although I would love a full stack at this table if that was possible to get. So if I can manage to get, really, I think 1,000 hands a day should be my goal. That would be, if I can get that every day during the week, which I wouldn't quite be able to get. I can't quite get 1,000 a day every day during the week because the days I have my son, I can't really start playing. And well, actually, that's not true because if I get him to bed around like 7 or 8 p.m., I can go till like 2 a.m. So yeah, if that's sort of what I need to do. So I should be able to get 1,000 hands a day every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess the same thing applies for when I have him. He's in bed around 7 or 8 if he's being difficult. And then, I probably play at night. Need to figure out how to live off of less sleep, but I'll cross that bridge as needed. But yeah, so that, maybe take a day off once a week or every other week. This is pretty good. Should I 3-bet this flop? Just like nasty equity 3-bet. Just take it up to 9, or call because I have position. I guess call because I have position. Dirty dog. Dirty dog. Please have a flush. Come on, one time. One time let me cooler someone for real. What do I do? I mean, if he's barreling equity, I want to raise, and like I called his raise, now he's betting again. And I have position, so like, yeah, let's just do that. It's really hard to fold. The pot will be big, and then whatever happens on the river happens. No! Damn it. I guess just keep calling when you have the stone cold nuts. Wait for the river to raise. Wait for the river to raise. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. I don't know if that's always true, but I guess in that spot it turned out to be true. So, like, did we miss that hand? Are we again missing a hand here? Yeah, it didn't come through. So, apparently, I mean, I've probably caught 3 or 4 hands in the last day and a half that didn't go through. 6, 7, 8, 9. So I wonder how many hands I'm actually missing when this happens. Interesting. Okay. Can't believe that I raised there. I should have just called. Oh, anyway, I need to sit out and take a quick break and then go for one more hour. I'll try to get in one more hour. So yeah, I'm wondering how many hands I'm actually missing. I'll have to set up a day. Maybe it'll be Fridays. I guess it doesn't really matter, but at least like once a week, I think I'll pull all my hands over from pretty much all the downloaded hands. Like you have to download all your hands from Ignition, and then you see all the hole cards and everything. So I'm thinking that once a week, I'll do that. That should be fairly sufficient. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to avoid seeing results, but I guess I'll try. See what I can do. I'm actually excited to review hands tomorrow. Like I'm looking forward to getting in and going through hands and seeing if I can find spots to improve, take some notes, and then try to make it not happen in tomorrow night's session. Oh, yeah, I suppose I should check my tables. I'll check my tables when I sit out. Let's, I don't know why I haven't done this yet, but let's sit out next big blind on all tables. I'll, do the break in just a moment. That's a pretty bad board to c-bet. That I know. I haven't studied all the flops, but I know that one's pretty rough. Same with this one on table 4. So, he checked twice. A queen's definitely in his range. But I think there's more like 10s and 9s in his range here. Ooh, value owned myself. Okay, that'll happen when you're going for thin value. That will happen. That I'm not really upset about. Flush gets there on the river. I mean, this is a 60-0. I don't know. I mean, did I win? I can't tell what's happening here. I mean, sometimes like the answer really is just pot odds. Like when a guy that clearly just doesn't really know what they're doing is betting a really small amount, it's like their level of confusion makes it a call. Yeah, let's go ahead and bet here. I don't think this guy respects my bets very much. He has never folded on the flop to me. Yeah, I guess I can fold there. Not doing particularly well at table 1, so I may just jump off that table and try to find something a little better. Never adept. Yeah, it's 25% players per flop, so I'll ditch that table. All right, guys, I'm going to change over the video, and I don't even know what part we're on, but I'm going to make another one. I'll keep going. I mean, the whole session is going to be on record, so I can't imagine anybody would actually be able to consume all the content that I'm going to put out, but I guess I'll keep doing this for right now, and then I'll probably shift things up as I start to feel a little bit more confident with my ability to play correctly without narrating, or just narrate to myself, which I'm not sure how well that would work. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it, and let me know in the comments, what I can do better to make it easier to stick with it. See you back for the final episode in tonight's saga of my 25 no limit session on Ignition Poker. Thank you.